as we preview the Oregon Ducks leading into year number dos for the Big Ten life, as coming off being the best of the best in the Big Ten. Not the best of the best in the nation, but the best of the best in the Big Ten.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. That's what he says, folks. Dynamite, drop in, Monty.
I like to give you one of those every now and then. It's fun.
Every now and then.
No, I mean, I was listening to a couple of college football previews, listening to the boys this morning on the way in. It's like, I'm very interested in this year. I mean, I'm always interested in college football. It is what it is. But I'm very interested in this year. Is this the new normal?
Oh, like this momentum keeps going, and this is 10.5 wins every year.
Well, no, I mean just for across college football. Like,
in what sense?
In the sense of like, there's 12 teams.
Oh, that could win it.
That could win it, and that's such a different landscape. And even though it's still not that many, but if you are an Oregon who has not won one, the odds have flattened. So your ability to jump up there has become more real.
Yes.
And I'm not knocking them.
I see what you're saying. I think what you're trying to say is that you have more outs.
Yeah.
You have more pathways, more abilities.
Something can happen. Ohio State lost to Oregon, lost to Michigan, did not play in the Big Ten title game, won the national title.
Steamrolled. Yeah, like, maybe not steamrolled.
But
we're on a warpath to get there. Yeah, that's for sure.
The Notre Dame game was a little low scoring, but other than that, I mean, they beat the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, they were talking about Penn State this morning. It's like, could Penn State do that? Yeah. Could Penn State go out there and win 9 games? Yeah.
I don't mean to deviate from the Oregon conversation too much. I don't know if I believe there's 12, 13 teams that can win a natty. I believe in Texas. I believe in Penn State. I believe in Clemson. And I kind of might be done there.
Well, sure, but I'm saying, but because they're not far, this isn't 2019.
You're meaning
LSU,
more,
Georgia, 2020 Georgia. Like, you're not getting the freaks of the freaks of the freaks of the freaks where the depth is just so insane. The talent is so condensed. Like, let's just say the craziest thing happened last year, and Arizona State upsets Texas, and Arizona State went on this run.
So dope.
And all of a sudden, they find themselves in a national title game.
Yeah. TCU was in a national title game not too long ago.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the kind of thing where we might be in an era where, yes, recruiting, if you're a top 10 recruiter, you're going to be there. But
to your point, that depth doesn't really, the Georgia depth, Alabama depth doesn't exist
anymore.
No, you don't have first round D linemen that are third on the depth chart because they're 19.
Yeah.
That's true. However, Jeff and I were talking about this before the show. Oregon has the depth, I think, now. They're just young and inexperienced.
But that's the thing is, because we're out of the COVID era, you don't have the guys you can just, unless you're Kentucky and you have a 7th-year quarterback somehow. You don't, to be clear, 2018 was when that guy went to school.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. But you don't have this just litany of 3rd, 4th, 5th-year guys up and down your roster. That is more finite now. You're still going to have them, but you'll
have your Drew Aller at Penn State. You'll have Cade Klubnik and Nussmeier, but those are like the 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
those are the 3.
Altmaier at Illinois. Like, but other than that, you're so much younger, which means there's so much more room for error. Like when you talk about Oregon, they have 10 new starters on offense.
Yeah, but I think
look, you can give Lanning and Oregon all the credit they deserve for recruiting the way that they have. That is such a wild unknown.
Yeah, I wonder if, to your point, in that there's not a ton of like older teams anymore. I wonder I think you're right. This will be a great season to watch the Ducks specifically from a national landscape. What if they show us that maybe the deep but young team is the route to go instead of constantly piecing together to get everything in line, kind of like what Ohio State did last year, or what Texas is doing this year, etc. It's almost like in the NFL, you don't win a Super Bowl when your quarterback gets the bag.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about that all the time.
Very, very hard.
Very hard to do when your quarterback has taken up
unless they're
40% of your cap.
Mahomes or Hurts or
But even then, Mahomes hasn't won with his deal in place.
Sure.
So I wonder if that will trickle down to college. And Oregon would be maybe the best case we've seen in this NIL era. with Dante Moore, who is experienced,
Mhm.
but is young, and he's coming into a new offense. I think the youth, but the depth of youth is probably, if I had to say the number one thing I'm looking at Oregon this year, it's how is the youth.
The collective college football landscape, the thing that I'm looking at, is this year a one-off because we're out of the COVID era and the NIL era is starting to stabilize? Or is it kind of a hybrid era now where it kind of harkens back to not to the teams that had all the depth, but the teams when we were growing up? Yes, they had all the talent collection, Texas, USC, those kind of things. But you had teams that cycled, where like Penn State right now, it's, they were talking about this morning where Penn State sits in the blue chip, ratio. They're 9th in the country, which is still very good. It's in the last, 11 years, only one team, Michigan, has won a title outside of the top 10. They were 14th. But where Penn State is, they're the 9th best talent ratio, but their talent is older. Where Oregon is 5th.
Right, but
how much of their 5 stars are all sophomores or younger? You know what I mean? And again, that's not to take away from those guys.
Yeah, Russ pointed out to me their entire quarterback room is sophomores or under. That's wild.
That's
wild.
Their recruiting classes are, especially the last 2 years, are very good, but they aren't very experienced. Where if you look at Penn State's, their experience in their recruiting, Aller is a top prospect, the edge rushers are top prospect, the offensive line's a top prospect, both running backs are top prospects, but they're all older.
Right.
And so it's like, yes, the prospect stuff, it matters. Like Bartu will sing that to the freak till the cows come home, and he's right because the data backs it up. But the cycling of it, because you can't keep what Georgia had, what Texas had, what USC had. You can't keep, like you said, a first-round draft pick who's a freshman or a sophomore buried there for another year because that guy's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, on the YouTube chat, this guy points out a couple things. The days of SEC dominance are gone. The playing field is way more level with transfer portal and NIL. The flip side is guys coming in aren't freshmen. They aren't vets either, but they've played. It's just getting familiar with scheme. Guys who tackle guys still tackle guys. That is true. That maybe the age doesn't really matter.
Well,
if you're a sophomore in Abdul Carter and you tackle guys, you're still Abdul Carter.
Now, you're going to have the freaks, but I'm talking about the general player pool, right? Like the guys that round out your roster. That's the thing that, like, yes, stars and the top prospects, but like the depth of starter, not the depth of the roster.
Right.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, are we getting more into that again?